What up, guys? It's Mike.
It's Jen.
This story, did you cry?
Yeah.
You cried?
I actually teared up when I was watching
Really?
this video. Yeah, because it's just really heartwarming.
Yeah, I mean, I felt really moved. I didn't cry, but I thought you might have because
I didn't full on cry.
Yeah, I mean,
little tear.
I know. There was a little tear.
Yeah.
Did it come out?
Yeah.
Oh man, I was getting the feels from this. This is a story posted by a girl named Jagini. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. She's posting a story about her friend Natasha, who attends Baylor University in Texas. And what happened was, Natasha one day, she was walking on campus and a random guy just comes up, random bully, and pushes her off the sidewalk.
And he calls her the N-word.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you can't be on the sidewalk.
Right, so he pushes her off. And then some guy comes to her rescue and basically stands up to him. He's like, yo, man, that's not cool. And the guy's like, well, I'm just trying to make America great again. You stupid? So what happened after this was where it's so touching. So the story just spread, went viral, everyone heard about it. Next day when Natasha left class, there was hundreds of students waiting for her.
It was like over 300 people. And then after she came out of her classroom, she was with her two other friends and she just saw and she started tearing up and her friends started tearing up and I started tearing up.
Yeah, I started, the lump of coal in my heart started to melt. All these students were there because they wanted to walk her to her next class to show their support for her, which is incredibly awesome. And there was a hashtag going around, I walk with Natasha. And you know, it's great to see something like the original story was horrible, right? I mean, the original story was just like you're kind of losing faith in humanity because like what kind of jackwagon feels like it's okay to do something like that? And then you're reading it, you're like, oh my God, and you're feeling good about like that initial guy who came out and stood up for her.
That guy's admirable.
That guy's awesome. She doesn't know who he is right now, but she wanted to thank him. In the video, she gave a very awesome thank you to everybody who supported her, especially to the guy who stood up to the bully initially. And this just goes to show, I mean, people are not like this. Most people are not like that jackwagon guy.
You know the guy who was helping her?
Yeah.
He's the one who's actually making America great again. And also I feel like the rude guy, he was actually just using like Trump being elected as an excuse to do such a thing.
This is just some kind of like some issues I have with this whole thing because if you look around Facebook, there are all these like white supremacist groups and all these like crazy, just like these insane people who are just like, yeah, Trump got elected, now I can do whatever I want because he's gonna send all you immigrants back to wherever you came from. Really, dudes? Like, what kind of crazy world are you living in?
And honestly, Trump being elected doesn't give you the right to harass anyone.
Right.
Yeah.
So you feel like some guy is elected, now you feel like, what is it? You're immune to the law. You're immune to being like a decent human being. You can just do whatever you want. You're gonna get away with that. I just don't understand the way these people think, and I'm glad so many people came out and supported her and showed these other people that yeah, you guys are the minority. You guys who are filled with hatred, ignorance. You guys are the minority. Well, let me ask you: did you ever face some sort of racism growing up in Vancouver?
Not really.
Because you're surrounded by Asians.
Yeah, everyone in my school, from elementary all the way to high school, they were all like 90% Asian.
Yeah, I went to school in Iowa, Missouri, little towns in
You're the only Asian
Illinois,
kid there.
and Minnesota. I was one of the only Asian kids there, and I am telling you, like, it's not. I mean, a lot of folks in those parts of the country, they're really sweet, they're really nice, but there are a lot of ignorant people there, and there are a lot of people who there's not a lot of Asians, so I got picked on my whole life. I had people telling me when I first went to college, I went to school at Truman State University, which is a very, very small town in Missouri. And the first day of class, I remember coming home and I got a voicemail. And it was somebody saying, go back to China. Like literally this stuff, I mean, I lived it. I've had to walk around town where I go into a restaurant and people will stop eating and stare at me. All this stuff has happened to me. So I'm glad, nowadays there are people who are willing to come out and support somebody facing racism and be able to make them feel safe. And so this is really just something that's so heartwarming that has happened. And let us know your thoughts about this story. Thanks for watching, guys.
Bye.